All right, all we have left to do now is render out our frame sequences. So I'm going to start with the planet and the ring that goes around it. And the first thing I want to do is make sure that my resolution gate or that camera reference, that skin, is turned on. And the way we get to that is over here with this little white box and the blue sphere just below the word show. So I'm going to put that on so I know exactly what my frame range is when I render out. The next thing I want to do is set the number of frames and the quality and the file that I'd like to render these to. So I'm going to go up to the top of the user interface, and over on the right you'll see that series of Hollywood clapboards that we've been talking about throughout the semester. I want to click on the one with the two little radio buttons to the left of it because that's going to allow me to go in and set the quality of my animation, locate where it's actually going to go, and it'll allow me to put my frame range in. So let's get started on that, and we'll take it one step at a time. So I'm going to make sure I'm on the Common tab. And the first thing I want to do is go down and name that file. So this will be Planet. And I'll put it on as Planet 1 in case there's more than one rendering. The file format is Targa. So I'm going to click on Targa. And very important, the frame animation extension. This is going to put it in a sequence that After Effects will understand. So from frame animation, I'm going to click, and the very last visible choice we have is the one that After Effects will understand. So I'm going to click on it. Name_number.ext. Frame padding is set for 4. I can leave that at 4, or I can make it 3. I would not make it lower. Now we have to go down and set our start frame and our end frame. Well, the default setting for the start frame is 1, and I'm going to end my animation at 300. And then I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to fix my aspect ratio. So let's go ahead and let's make it 640 by 480 so you can render these out a little more quickly. Now the next thing I want to do is simply go over to Maya Software directly across from the Common tab. And in here I want to choose Production Quality. And that's all we really need to do in this window. Now I'm going to go back to the Common tab because there's one thing I have to check before I actually do render. I have to see where this is going. You have to make sure that you're going to a folder. You can see that it's telling me it's going to my desktop, the folder I designated to go to, and into an image folder. And that's what I want to see. Now, if in the event that it says it's going to the default documents on the computer you're working on, then you'll want to go over to File, and you'll want to go over to Create. We're going to go to Set Project, actually. So we'll go to Set Project, and I'll go to my desktop. I would select my folder, and I would simply hit Set, and it's asking me, do you want to create a default workspace? Yes, I do. I would click on that, and in doing so, it will update here. Okay, so now I can locate that in a folder on my desktop and not to some default folder hidden away on the computer. All right, so I've got everything set the way I want. I would close out my render window. I would save, and I'd hold down my space bar. I would go to Render and simply click on the word Batch Render. There's no other settings other than that. And once I've done that, it will render out my animation. Okay, so we'll come back and we'll set up one more for our character, and then we'll go to After Effects. All right, so now we'll render out our character, whatever component you want to introduce to your project. It could be a variation on the satellite that we created for our tutorial, or the rocket, if you want to call it that. But we're going to go ahead and we'll set up this render sequence as well, just so you're familiar and you can kind of commit this to memory. So I've got it all keyframed and it's ready to go. So once again, I'm going to go up to my render settings, that little Hollywood clapboard with the radio buttons to the left. I'll click on it. Make sure that you change the name of the file. And chances are you've got exactly what you need from the prior setting. So there's the target sequence. There's name_.ext so that After Effects understands it. Frame padding 4. And there's my frame range, start frame 1 and frame 300. All right. So if I had been using a camera, I would change the camera to the chosen camera down here, and everything else remains the same. Once again, I would close that out. Command S to save, hold down my space bar, click on render, and go to batch render. All right, we'll check our image folder to get our sequence, and the next thing we'll do is composite in After Effects.